Good morning, children. Today we are moving to the last and the fourth section of chapter 3, Movement Towards a New World. Here we will discuss about formation of United Nations, the different organs of United Nations, and the different activities of the organs of United Nations. United Nations. Why was the United Nations established? At the end of the First World War, the League of Nations was formed in order to establish world peace. But it failed and Second World War broke out. At the end of the Second World War, the nations of the world thought that an organization is necessary which would be able to control the nations and maintain world peace. As a result of that, an organization called United Nations or UN was created on 24th October 1945. The main aim of this organization was to establish peace, security, and coexistence in the world. New York was made the headquarters of United Nations. In the formation of United Nations, America played an important role. The American President Roosevelt, he was the great force behind the formation of United Nations. He made 4 important announcements regarding freedom in his message to the American Congress with the intention of human freedom, peace and security. Later, American President Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill prepared an 8-point agreement which later came to be known as Atlantic Agreement. This agreement included matters like maintaining peace and sovereignty of every nation, peace, security, social and economic welfare and disarmament. The foreign ministers of Britain, America, Russia and China met in Moscow for world peace, which came to be known as Moscow Declaration. Now, the formation of United Nations. In November 1943, leaders of America, Britain and Russia held a conference in Tehran. Representatives of 50 nations prepared the agreement for United Nations at Washington. On 24th October 1945, 51 member nations declared the establishment of United Nations. India was also part of this. Since then, 24th October, we are celebrating as United Nations Day all over the world. At present, we are having 193 nations are members of United Nations. Now, United Nations consist of different organs, mainly 6 organs, namely General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, Trusteeship Council, International Court of Justice and Secretariat. This idea you will get more about from this chart. Economic and Social Council is also known as ECOSOC. It is having 6 different other organizations called World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, Food and Agricultural Organization, International Labour Organization, UNICEF and UNESCO. Now we will discuss about each and every one organ of United Nations in detail. First one is the General Assembly. The biggest organ of United Nations is General Assembly. It includes the representatives of all member nations, and every member can send 5 representatives, but during the time of election, one country is having one vote. It is having different activities, like it can discuss, advise, suggest, comment on any matter related to international relations. It accepts the budget presented by the Secretary General every year and allocate the expenses. They can find solutions to the economic problems of the nations, human rights, disarmament, or other international matter. Whatever may be the discussions, the decisions will be taken by the voting based on voting, and the decisions will be taken in the voting with a 2/3 majority. Here in this picture you can see the General Assembly Hall of United Nations, which is situated in New York. From India, we are having different members, especially our present permanent representative to India's to United Nations General Assembly is Mr. T.S. Trimurthy from Chennai, who was appointed in April 2020. Second one is the Security Council. This is the most important organ of United Nations. There are 5 permanent members in the Security Council, that is America, Britain, France, Russia and China. At the same time, we are having not permanent members, that is 10 countries are having this criteria. This will change every 2 years for a term of 2 years. These members are elected for a period of 2 years. When any one permanent member does not vote in support of some important international matter, it cannot take a decision on that. And this power rests with the 5 permanent members, and that power is called veto power or right to deny. Russia has used this veto power maximum number of times. In your textbook, in page number 20, there is a chart is given. In that chart, you can see Russia, it had used the maximum. And with this veto power, Russia had spoken for India's relation with Pakistan. Third one is Economic and Social Council. As I told you, this council is also known as ECOSOC. The General Assembly appoints its retiring members for a period of 3 years. This council tries to raise the standard of living of the nations of the world without any bias of religion, caste or region. This ECOSOC is having some sub-councils that I showed you in the chart about the different sub-councils. We will discuss it one by one. The first sub-council of Economic and Social Council is World Health Organization or WHO, which works to improve the health of people of the world. You can see the emblem of WHO. Second one is International Monetary Fund or IMF, which works to establish financial stability of the world. Third one is Food and Agriculture Organization or FAO, which helps to improve agricultural production, forestry and fisheries and raise the nutrition level of the world. Fourth one is ILO or International Labour Organization, which works to provide rights and justice to laborers of the world. United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund or UNICEF. Now we are calling it as United Nations International Children's Fund. This undertakes child welfare activities to improve the health of the children of the world. In India, UNICEF is committed in its continued support to the government in extraordinary journey of development to reach every child everywhere in India. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, works to improve the cooperation between nations by removing illiteracy, raising the standard of living of people through education, providing justice, education, science and cultural resources. Besides these, there are sub-councils and regional councils which undertake various activities. Coming to the works of UNESCO in India, UNESCO is having the culture and heritage are one of the most significant of UNESCO's activity in India, and safeguarding India's cultural and civilizational heritage as reflected in the World Heritage List of UNESCO. You know, in Baroda we are having some places under the World Heritage List of UNESCO. That is, first example is our Lakshmi Vilas Palace, then the famous Champaner Pavagadh, even our MS University and the museum, Baroda Museum, these all are under the list of World Heritage Sites of UNESCO. Coming to Gujarat, Gujarat's famous Rani Ki Vav, the historic city of Ahmedabad, the little Ran of Kutch, they all are under the World Heritage Site of UNESCO. Now moving to the fourth organ of United Nations is Trusteeship Council. There are 5 permanent member nations in this council. The representatives are elected by the General Assembly. The main aim of Trusteeship Council is to give help to the countries that are defeated in the Second World War, as well as its social, economic, political development. Now, the fifth organ of United Nations is the International Court of Justice. This is the highest court in the world. Its headquarters is situated in the city of Hague in Netherlands. Here we are having 15 judges. There are 15 judges and they are appointed for a period of 9 years. They solve the disputes between nations, give verdict on international disputes presented before it, and give legal advice. International Court of Justice is trying to solve India's relation with China as well as Pakistan regarding its borders. The first Indian woman, Neeru Chada, was appointed as the judge. She was the first Indian woman who was appointed to the International Court of Justice. She was from Delhi. Last and the important organ is the Secretariat. The office of the Secretary General of the United Nations is called the Secretariat. The General Assembly appoints the Secretary General for 5 years. You can see the picture of the present Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres. The Secretariat is situated in New York. With this, we come to an end of this chapter. Before ending, we are supposed to complete our exercises. For that, we are having some important questions. First one is answer in one word. 10 questions are there. Fill in the blanks. 5 questions are there. You will get the answers in the next clip. Second one is answer the following questions briefly. This one is very important for you. Why was the United Nations established? Question number 1. For this, you should come to page number 18 of your textbook. Page number 18, last line. At the end of World War II, on 24th October 1945, the United Nations was established with the purpose of peace, security and coexistence in the world. That is answer number 1. Question number 2. Explain what the Economic and Social Council as an organ of the United Nations mean. Answer page number 21 of your textbook. First heading, Economic and Social Council. First paragraph completely. That is, this council is also called Economic ECOSOC. The General Assembly appoints its retiring members for 3 years. This council tries to raise the standard of living of the nations of the world without any bias of religion, caste, region. This council and its sub-councils work all over the world. I hope both the answers are clear for you. Now, moving to the short notes. The General Assembly of the UN. For that, page number 2020, second heading, Activities of the Organs of United Nations. First heading, General Assembly. That under the heading General Assembly, all the points you are supposed to write. Clear? Second question, the Security Council of the United Nations. Same page, page number 20. Under the heading Security Council, we are having 2 paragraphs. Both the paragraphs you are supposed to write in 1 paragraph. I hope it is clear for you. Here is the answers for your answer in one word and fill in the blanks. You can check this and write into your notebook. Complete the notebooks. Hope this section is clear for you. Thank you.